Now we're going to do a concept called factoring by grouping, and this is a method that's useful whenever you have 4 terms in your expression. But the first thing I should always do is see, do I have a greatest common factor other than 1 in all 4 of these terms? I do not. Next thing you want to do is you want to organize these from highest power to lowest power. We've got some issues on that one. D, we're going to have some issues, okay? Now, once you organize them in highest power to lowest power, you're going to put parentheses on the first 2 terms and parentheses on the last 2 terms, and make sure there's a plus in the middle. If there's not a plus, you put plus and change this term to a negative, okay? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply what I learned up there on example 1. I'm going to take out the greatest common factor in each binomial here. So what's 7 and 35 have in common? 7. So I'm going to put 7 out to the left. What's b cubed and b squared have in common? B squared. So I'm going to put 7b squared out to the left. Open parenthesis. 7 divided by 7 is 1. I had 3 b's, took 2 out, so 1's left. 35 divided by 7 is 5. I had 2 b's, took 2 out, so none are left. Now 6b and 30, what do those have in common? Well, 6b and 30 have 6 in common. So I'm going to take out 6. Should I use 6 and b for the same one? 6's look like b's. So I'm going to divide each of these by 6. 6b divided by 6 is b. 30 divided by 6 is 5. Okay? Now, if you're doing this right, you should have a common binomial factor, b minus 5. Okay? I'm going to show you kind of how this works. Let me make up an example. Let's say I had 7b squared x plus 6x. Do these two share a common factor? Yes, they share a common factor of x. So I could take x out to the left. And by the way, a factor is a number of quantity when that is multiplied by another one. So like x is a factor because it's multiplying with that expression and it's multiplying with that expression. Okay, so I could take it out. If they both have the same factor, but the same number multiplying with the expressions, take it out and I'll write down what's left over when I do that. Okay, it's the same concept here, except for this time it's being multiplied by a binomial. But in this case, just like I took out x to the left, I could take out b minus 5 to the left. Okay, so if I take out b minus 5 to the left, what's left over here? 7b squared. What's left over here? 6. So 7b squared plus 6. Could any of these factor any further? They can't. And we're not going to go that deep right now, but you will look at that in later lessons, okay? Now let's look at the next one. First thing, I got to get these in order. So 2m cubed minus 6m squared minus 3m plus 9. Okay, so I put them in order. Next, I'm going to put parentheses around the first 2 terms, parentheses on the last 2, but now here I'm going to put plus negative, okay? Plus negative, and because I got to have a plus in the middle, so to make that a plus, I have to make that term a negative, okay? Or change the sign of it. All right, so now I'm going to take out the greatest common factor. What does 2 and 6 have in common? 2. I have 3 m's here, 2 m's there, so m squared. So what's left over? 2 divided by 2 is 1. Add 3 m's, took 2 out, so 1's left. 6 divided by 2 is 3. Had 2 m's, took 2 out, none are left. All right, this is where it gets a little tricky. Negative 3m and 9, what do they have in common? 3. But here's the rule, remember, from earlier. If your leading term has a negative, you have to factor out a negative. So my leading term, my term with the highest power is 3m, because 3m's got a higher power than 9. So, but it's negative 3m. So what I've got to do is I got to factor out a negative. So when your leading term's got a negative, you got to factor that out. So I'm going to divide both of these by negative 3. Negative 3 divided by negative 3 is 1, so it'll be 1m. 9 divided by negative 3, negative 3. Then I'm going to say, what do these two have in common? What's the factor they both have in common? M minus 3. So if I factor out m minus 3, what's left over? 2m squared minus 3.